Have you ever heard a musical artist described as having great chops? What does that mean? Well, the term chops is slang in the music business that refers to an artist that has developed great skills over time, whether they are a musician, composer, producer, or other titles associated with the music business. This is Scott Grimaldi, your host of Got Chops. Join me as I interview one musical artist per episode that I've had the pleasure of either performing, recording, or work with in my career. Plus, I'll be interviewing artists I've always wanted to speak with. We'll discover how each artist developed their chops, listen to their stories, and much more. This is Got Chops.
When all the chips are down, I will always be around, just to be right where you are, my love. Oh, I love you, girl. I will always let you in. I'll never leave you out to places no one's ever been. Deep inside, can't you see? Oh, that I believe in you and me. Maybe I'm a fool.
My special guest artist for today is recognized in the New York, New Jersey area as a vocalist, producer, and composer, and someone I have worked with on numerous recording dates and live performances since the 1980s. In addition, he is a highly sought-after recording session vocalist for named producers that include Tony Garcia and the late, great Tony Camillo. My guest has a rare gift. He can perfectly recreate the voice of iconic singers, male and female, such as Nat King Cole, Frank Sinatra, Louis Armstrong, and Luciano Pavarotti, just to name a few. His credits include writing and singing on Take Me in Your Arms, which hit number 48 on the Billboard Top 100 chart, and his vocals can be heard on many national TV and radio ads. This vocalist is a 2014 Baby Boomer American Idol winner and the New York Idol Finalist on WPLJ's Scott and Todd's Big Show. By the way, that's him singing I Believe in You and Me from his first Baby Boomer American Idol audition. He is the founder of Fortune Entertainment and GrooveScape Records, and his hit single, Can't Go This Way Again, reached number 46 on the Billboard Top 100 dance chart. This highly gifted artist certainly got chops. Please welcome my friend, Julian Hernandez. Good morning, Julian. Are you there? This is Scott from Got Chops.
Hi, Scott. How are you? Yeah, I'm here, alive and well.
Great. So nice to hear your voice. For my listeners, Julian and I go back all the way to the 80s. I've known him for that long as a friend and a colleague. We've done tons of projects together, meaning recording work, live work, collaboration. We're going to talk about all that stuff today. So how are you, Julian? How's your day going for you?
Oh, my day's going good. You know, it's a nice sunny day. Well, not really sunny. I always try to keep my stuff really positive. Every day's a sunny day in my world. I try, you know. Just like the Temptations, I got sunshine on a cloudy day, baby, all the time.
Really good. All right, so let's dig into the questions. This is for the benefit of my listeners that may have not heard of you, and for the people that are listening that know about you, they're interested in hearing this stuff again and some stuff that maybe you haven't revealed. So I'm excited to interview you. So, Julian, as a seasoned pro in the music industry, what does the music slang "got chops" mean to you?
Well, got chops. I always thought, you know, it was a horn thing for horn guys. So I've worked around a lot of horn guys. like yourself, of course. And I always said, I got chops. I thought I had to do something with the lips, but I understand that got chops to me now means that, if you have some talent, you got some skill, as a musician, as a performer, people will say that, oh man, this guy's got chops, man. He's got chops. He can sing. He can blow that horn. He's got chops, baby. So to me, that's pretty much it, straight and forward.
Absolutely. And you and I, being in the business for many years, I remember talking to you, looking at other musicians play or sing, and that would just come out of our mouth very easily. It's just,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
part of our language.
that's true. You got chops. You got chops, I think.
Oh, pork chops.
Would you say pork chops? No, no, wait a minute. I'm hungry, man. getting around lunchtime.
You know what? Let's stop this. Let's go to lunch. Where do you want to go?
I want to go to a place where they have pork chops so we can lick our chops. What do you think, Scott? That sound good? Like a good idea?
Yeah, I mean,
Just think about it. Two guys that have chops doing chops. This could be another show,
you
man.
know what?
You know,
Yeah, we could be partners. Let's do that. Let's stop this.
got chops doing pork
Right.
chops.
I talk about humor all the time with my guests and with my students, and this is just evident. There's not one musician that can go a few minutes without infusing some humor. So thank you for doing
I
that.
know. You know what it is, Scott. Also, it's like in the business that we're in, we have to have some humor, man, because or else we can't cry, right? The stories that we've been through, the bad stuff. There's more bad stuff than good stuff. So I always try to keep as positive as I can. But there's times that I get in the corner, I cry a little bit, but then I come back at it. But that's music for you. Music is it's an art, just like artists. Being a movie star or trying to become an actor or getting gigs. I mean, it's so hard, but we do it because we love it so much, and we pay a price at times, I think.
That's right. We're all on the same boat. So, Julian, tell my listeners where you were born and where did you grow up, and did you come from a musical family?
Okay, my story is really simple. My parents came to Hoboken back in the 50s. But guess what? My mother happened to be in New York at my aunt's house in the Bronx when I decided to come out into the world. So I was born on a dance floor. She was dancing and the water broke. So my birth
Wow.
certificate says Bronx, New York. But then after they brought me to the hospital, they brought me back to home, Hoboken, where I grew up. So that was my story.
What was the genre of music being played?
Oh my God, the Spanish, because I'm Spanish. I mean, I think my mother, I laugh about it because I think, did I come out dancing when I was hanging off the umbilical cord? I mean, my little guys think, oh, it's like, but, and I've always loved Latin music. I think maybe that's why I was born on a dance floor, man. So crazy.
What? Yeah, you were saying, listen, I got to get out of here. I got to dance. I got to compose something.
I got to
That's
get
cool.
out. They're having fun out there. Mom, let me out, please. Let me out, por favor, please.
Well, you're the first guest that has told such a story. This is great. Thank you. So, going on, what age did you begin to play and study music?
Well, honestly, I got to tell you the truth, Scott. I'm a little embarrassed about this, but I never really studied music. I started when I was oh my God, I was 10 years old. My uncle used to play guitar, Spanish guitar, and I used to watch him like a little hawk. And he says one day I said, Uncle, his name is Chago, Tio Chago, Uncle Chago. Right? So I said, can I try that? He goes, you think you could do this? He goes, yeah, I can play that song. And with my little fingers on his guitar, I tapped out each note, and he was like, wow. So he told my mother, his sister, he says, get this kid a guitar. He's got something. And that was that. Like from there I kind of kept going my little bit. And then brings me to I'm sitting in an algebra class. And it's too long to tell you what the whole because I started playing, I started to learn some chords, and I'm in the algebra class, and this kid says to me, Angelo Andreani, who later on we had our own group, Madison. He says, listen, I hear you play guitar, and we're doing an assembly tomorrow. You think you can play? We're only doing two songs. One of them is "Give Me Some Lovin'" by I think it was Stevie Winwood and Spencer Tracy.
Right.
Mitch.
That's
I
right.
can't remember. I know that Stevie Winwood was in the group, and I said, yeah. And I was so excited. Yes, yes, yes. I'll do it. So he goes, well, we got to go rehearse this afternoon. I said, yeah, but we're in school. He goes, you're gonna have to play hooky. I'm like, what? So Scott, I was terrified. My mother would kill me, and I did it. That's when I knew I loved music because I had a fear of my mother to not be disrespectful. It's the way we were brought up in that time. So I went and got my little amp. I walked we rehearsed. Then I came home at 3:00. My mother gets home at 3:30 from work. Oh, what you doing? How was school? Oh, school was great, Ma. I got to rehearse tonight. I'm doing an assembly tomorrow. Assembly? Yeah, so I went back 7:00, rehearsed the next day. Got there at 8:00 in the morning. Man, my first experience on stage. I didn't sing or anything at that time. I was just a little guitar player. I was nervous, Scott. The I had these sunglasses like Buddy Holly glasses. Yeah, it was crazy. The sunglasses, put them on because I was so scared. The curtains open. I'm like terrified. And we go into our first song, but I wasn't singing. The drummer was, and I was like, why am I so scared? And the crowd's, the kids are all screaming. It was the most fantastic feeling. And I said, I want more of this, man. So it was great. And from there, they kept me in the group. The other guitar player never came back. And that group was called Stone Age Fantasy. And that went on for a while. We had a manager and everything. We actually wound up going in high school. We went to a contest. ABC Records was having a contest with cousin Brucey. And we wound up going to ABC Studios, Dunhill, because our parents had us sign us off on that, like that, because we were young kids. And we go there, and the singer, Angelo at the time, we decided to do Ain't Too Proud to Beg, right? So they bring us into the studio, and these two Afro-American security guards bring us in, and we're sitting in there, they doing sound checks. We would play it that night, okay? That same night they would play the people that were going to go for a record company. Actually, one record deal. They were going to do like a single or something. Whoever won this, the high school thing. Long story longer. So we go in there. The guy starts, hi, this is Angel. We're the Stone Age Fantasy. And he was nervous. He was nervous also. We're going to do Song of the Temptations. Ain't Too Proud to Beg. So, okay, great. So, boom. I know you want to leave me. He was terrible, right? I see the two black security guards are laughing their butts off. And I got like, oh no. And they're behind the booth and everybody's cracking up in there. And I'm like, oh. So they said, let's try it again. So we did it. We did it about 5 times. Everybody laughed the whole time. So we leave. That night at 10:00, they play they is when the next group is slotted they're going to play. It was supposed to be us. So, it comes on, and here's tonight's high school from, it was another high school from somewhere else. I'm like, oh no, we never got on the air, man. It was, we were devastated, man. But so after that, it just goes on, and I became lead singer a couple of years later. We were auditioning for another show in high school, and these guys came down to hear, the group, and our lead singer at the time got sick. So what are we going to do? I said, listen, I know a song. I don't know. I'm not a singer, but I know a song called The Letter. Give me a ticket for an airplane. I says, I can do it, I think. And then so I did it. And they said, we love it. This guy, fantastic. So then the lead singer says, no, but I'm going to be singing Ain't Too Proud to Beg.
Oh, boy.
So they said, no, this guy's got to sing. We don't know if this guy's good enough, but we want this guy to sing. And then I started from there. The drummer in that group, Joe Scarano, he encouraged me to be, to sing leads, and I one song at a time, and then I became the lead singer. And then from there, that was it. We went to the high school, the CEO, what was the CEO dances? What was it? CYO, Christian Youth Organization.
Okay.
A lot of those, and that was it, real good. So that was my humble beginning there. Just from my uncle to, my first performance in the 9th grade to high school. And then we got a manager and we started doing, dances and stuff. And,
Well, to piggyback on a few things that you just mentioned, first of all, that was a pivotal moment in your life to say, okay, this is what I want to do in my life to get on stage and to get the reaction from the audience in your school.
Yeah.
And the other thing you mentioned, Cousin Brucey. Cousin Brucey is still alive and kicking and still
Yeah.
out there on
Yeah.
ABC AM radio 77. And you and I were brought up on that also, as you know, when we were younger. And as it turns out, I was with Cousin Brucey. He was hosting like a rock and soul review.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this past summer at the PNC Arts Center in Homedale, and he, was hosting the whole thing. And man, he's still kicking. He's still doing it. He loves what he's doing.
I love this show, man. And then I got turned on in the 70s to the FM.
Oh yeah.
But and then I kind of lost I went to FM and I never came back to AM. But man, wow. Oh, one thing I forgot to tell you. In 10, whatever. Before that, I was a big Beatles fan. I'm sorry, I forgot to insert that. I shouldn't forget the Beatles because that's really why I wanted to play. And that's when my uncle with the guitar, I kind of saw my opportunity to become, a Beatle. But it was like 1964. We're sitting around the living room. My mother's like, "Oh, these guys, Beatles are gonna be, I don't know, something like a bunch of animals from England." I said, "I don't know. I heard about that too." And we used to sit around Sunday watching Ed Sullivan, and these guys came on, and man, that was it for me. I wanted to be a Beatle, and then my uncle with his little Spanish, I said, maybe if I start playing the Spanish stuff, I get to be a Spanish Beatle. I don't know. I had this wild stuff in my head, like, I don't know. But the Beatles really were my beginning influence, and still to today, I mean, forget about it,
I'd say about 9 out of 10 artists that I interview, they all have the same reaction, same story. And like you, I remember watching that show. I could still see it in my head as you're talking about it. And, I had the same reaction. But, to look at my parents' faces, they were appalled. And most people that age were appalled. And we laughed because what they thought was so atrocious and offensive about their haircuts is nothing today.
Oh my goodness! You look at the stuff today, the tattoos, the nose rings. These artists today are so tattooed you can't even see them,
Julian, do you remember how we met? And the first recording session, I was hired by you and your co-producer to arrange and play sax on.
Oh my goodness, that was oh man, only with you, and you came up with your arrangement, and it was a small studio, and you had all those horn players in there. But wow, that was incredible, man. I think the year was, oh my goodness,
early 80s.
Yes, it was. I'm going to tell you. Yeah, 80, if I'm not mistaken, 83, I think, or something like that. Something ridiculous. It's like, and I remember you coming in, man, and with this arsenal bone players and, and I remember we had also my trumpet player was on that too, Ronnie D. And he brought his teacher, Jerry Callett.
That's right. Oh my God.
Who was a big deal. He was a big teacher in New York.
That's right.
He worked with some incredible people. And I remember Bob and I being behind the glass, and when you guys got back, you were rehearsing them and stuff. And I was like, man, how do you think, Bob? Well, Bobby, being a sax player himself, he had a lot of admiration for you. Man, Scott is like, he always wanted to have your sound. He goes, man, how does he get that? Tom Scott, that, I want that. I can't, because he went to Jersey City State. I met Bobby in Jersey City State. And he always loved that. I think he was a little jealous too. I don't know.
Can you tell the listeners about Bobby and that studio that was in Lodi, I believe you guys had?
Yeah, that was called Real Platinum Studio, and we started that in Bobby's bedroom, and that was called Real Platinum Studios. And then we went from 8 tracks to 16 tracks to 24 tracks to 48 tracks, and we did so many records with so many incredible people. Benny King, I mean, just the long list. Christina Aguilera, I mean, just long list. And then Bobby actually, he left the business. He kind of retired. He's in Florida now, but that was an incredible journey for him and I. We were partners for over 30 years, in that venture. But that was great.
I can't remember how we met, though. How did we hear of each other?
I got to tell you something. I don't remember. I don't remember. I know that I remember the record because I remember that Only With You came out. The first, it aired on Christmas Day. I'll never forget it. was incredible. I was like, I don't believe this. And the horn, as a matter of fact, I just did a cleanup on that because I had it on a cassette, and the trumpet player lost his copy, so I did it. And it still sounds. I mean, what you did on that was amazing, man. God.
Oh, that was fun.
I'm thinking, how does he think of this stuff, man? I was just like, and you're over there, all this stuff, like the Mozart of like pop music, man. It's like crazy.
Well, you're too kind. I just remember having great fun with that. The name Wicked, was that associated with that album?
Yeah, that was it. That was the name. Yeah, we went under the name of Wicked. We were with the first guy that signed us was it was Mr. T, who I'm still working with him, Tony Garcia, and that was on Mr. T Records. Yes, and the name of the group was Wicked. Actually, that was basically Bob and myself and you guys. We were Wicked because it was a studio based group, you know. And as a matter of fact, let me tell you something about that song. It went to England. It did well. I mean, you know, and as Wicked, we did another follow called "Can't Get Enough of You," and that went on an album, Street Sounds, which sold gazillions of records. Aretha Franklin was on that, Brass Construction, and we're on there too. Wicked, it's amazing. Funk Masters, Freeze, IOU, you know, Arthur Baker. It's amazing. That was one of our first, you know, it was on TV. Oh, in England, it was huge. I have a copy of here at Wicked Records. So.
Oh, that's great.
But man, so your horns are out there, babe.
Oh, thank you, man. It's been a while since I've heard that. I have to go back in my archives.
Oh no, it's great. It sounds amazing. I mean, because Ronnie called me, the trumpet player who played on it. He goes, "Man, Jules, man, how good was that?" He goes, "Is that guy still around, Scott?" I said, "Is he around?" He's around. Don't worry about it. He was working with everybody and, you know, Temptations and everybody else, so, and doing his thing. So,
speaking about that, weren't you in the audience when I was with the Temps of the Four Tops?
You know, this is the crazy. I had seen you, I think, the night before. I don't remember, or I know I had seen you.
Yes, that's right. Somewhere.
Was it at maybe Little Donna's wedding? I don't know. I don't know what it was, but I remember I'm up in the thing, and I was with friends of mine, and it was a great time. And they said, "Oh, do you want to come? We got tickets for the Temps." I said, "I would love it," you know. So get there, and I'm watching, you know. Did you guys work with somebody else? I don't remember now, but because I remember I'm looking down and I see you walking on stage. I'm like, "Holy mackerel, that's my man," you know. So I told the people that. So they didn't, "Who's your man?" I said, "See the sax over there, little guy over there? That guy right there." And they're going, "Yeah, right. You know him?" I said, "I swear to God, I know him." So then I tried to get backstage and call for you, but you couldn't get backstage, you know. And I remember you walking out, you know, with your music and stuff. I'm like, "Oh my God, and then my friends were laughing. And we go, "You don't know." They thought I was kidding around. They said, "You know," I said, "I'm telling you, that's Scott Grimaldi. The Scott Grimaldi." They go, "Who the hell is Scott Grimaldi?" I said, "You don't know him because you people only know, you know." I said, "Oh my God, that was funny though. That was funny to see you." I know I had seen you like either a couple of days before, or we had talked or something. And that's how you are. Like, you don't brag about stuff. You're like, oh, yeah, I'm doing a little gig. I'm doing a little something over there. And I said, he's with the Temptations, damn it. It's great.
Yeah, those guys are fun to work with. Whenever they're on the East Coast, it's usually them and the Four Tops that I'll work with. It's a lot of fun. If they come again, hopefully now that COVID's died down, I'll let you know.
Yeah, let me know. We'll get some tickets. Come out, see you, man. We'll be cheering like Scott Grimaldi, Scott Grimaldi. Well, who the hell? Wait a minute. Forget the Temptations. We get to see the sax man. Give him a solo. Come on.
So speaking about live gigs and recordings, share the recording experiences you had with the top New Jersey record producer, arranger, and composer to the stars that we both worked with for many years, and the influence that he had on us, not only in music, but as an incredible mentor, our biggest supporter, an incredible human being, Tony Camillo. Then talk about the song Can't Go This Way Again on Tony's record label, TC Records, that went to number 46 on the Billboard dance chart.
Yeah, that was great, my God. Tony, I met Tony to a lovely lady. I saw her performing at a showcase. Because I come back from Florida, I was on the road forever, and I came back. Now I had an audition. You know how it is. That you could do as many records as you want. You still have to audition. So, and we had all this horn band, and it was incredible. And all the groups are great because everybody was just good. Everybody put out incredible. Everybody had chops. So the little group is coming on at the end. I saw they got at the end, so this part, the show's over. So I said, I'm gonna hang out, see what's up. Girl, piano player, drummer, bass player. Man, how did they even there after the whole, these powerhouses are in it? Well, they come out and they start off with a group, a song called "Shaky Ground," which is a Temptation, like a kicking song, man. And she opens her mouth, Janice, and it's like, what? Soulful, like blue-eyed soul, gospel, like holy mackerel. So the place goes nuts. She ends the song. Oh, thank you so much. For our next song, we'd like to do a Barbra Streisand song. Memories, and I'm like, what? I'm like out of my mind. I told the guys, I got to stick around. I got to meet this girl. So I go, we meet, exchange numbers. I said, you're fantastic. She said, oh, you guys are back and forth with how great we all are, right? So a couple of weeks later, she calls me. She said, oh, we're talking. She goes, listen, I want to introduce you. I really like your voice. I don't know if you ever heard of this producer, Tony Camillo. I said, I had a
what?
What? You know Tony Camillo? And then she goes, Tony, it's like a dad. I said, come on. That opened up a hole. She goes, I want you. I said, where is he? Oh, he's in Somerville. I said, Somerville? He lives in Jersey? I didn't know any, I knew of his work because my horn band used to do one of his biggest hits, which was called Bazooka. So I was really aware of his work, and I knew his work with Gladys Knight and, the who's who of music,
That's right.
So my first encounter, so she goes, meet. So I was so nervous, man. He goes, oh, yeah, he wants to put you on the star. I saw you there. Hasn't even heard me. Don't worry, Tony's really cool. I walk in, and I see this little guy. I'm thinking Tony Camillo's like, I don't know why I thought, as big as his music, but he was, he was bigger than that. He was a little short guy, cute little guy. Hi, hey, come on. Come up to my kitchen. I want to make you something to eat. I'm like, what?
That's right.
Yeah, I'm like, what? What about the session? Don't worry about that. Come on. What do you want to eat? A hamburger? I'll put some on the grill. You want to jump in the pool? I'm like, oh my God. What? I said, I'm looking at his house, his gold records. I'm like, oh my God, this guy's amazing. Pictures of who's who, right? And he's the most natural, loving man. I mean, I came to love Tony. I mean, like I don't want to say dad, maybe like an older brother. I don't know. But anyway, so we did the session, and I didn't know what the heck I was doing because the man does a lot of intricate, arrangements with vocals. And I even said to him, Tony, I don't know if I said to him, I don't know. He goes, you got a great voice. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. And he increased my vocal knowledge like nobody, man. It's the school. I couldn't have paid for this in any college or university anywhere, what he taught me. And my God, Scott, you knew Tony, so the guy was just the biggest heart and one of the most underrated talents, man. I mean, he was taught by Leonard Bernstein.
That's right. Right.
Juilliard, the guy, his ears were just, and who didn't he work with? Let's put it that way. Who didn't he work with?
Well, the classic songs. I mean, he arranged and produced "Midnight Train to Georgia" for Gladys Knight and the Pips.
Oh my God!
He did the entire arrangement for Stevie Wonder's "For Once in My Life."
Yep.
I mean, to this day,
it goes on.
Oh my God! I mean, and when you tell people these stories, they're like, "What? Who?
Who? Yeah, who did that?"
I said, "Listen, he was with Holland Dozier Holland at Motown." And then came over here and was probably the first guy to, buy a phenomenal mixing board from Abbey Road Studios in London and put it in his house and have all these big artists come to Somerville, or what we said was Hillsborough. It's just in a neighborhood where it was like, there's a studio in that house? Are you kidding me?
Oh, when I walked into it, Scott, I couldn't believe it. I said, because I'm thinking that that's a little house. I walk in, holy mackerel,
Right.
cool, this and that. And then remember the little, what do you call those stairs that go around?
Oh, yeah, the spiral staircase.
Spiral staircase, yeah. The little spiral staircase that he had his off. But Tony, and then years went by, and we did, Janet, who actually introduced me, her and I wound up doing a lot of his records, man. Oh my God, we did so many for so many people. I can't even remember them all, but at one point he decided to do us as artists, and he put this record behind me, Can't Go This Way, and the thing charted, and it was unbelievable. And they were going to follow it up with an album, but as always, when the song starts going down, and it kept climbing. But that's showbiz, and that's what he used to tell me. Because I said, Tony, what advice can you give me about, you've done it all? Here's what he told me. He says, music, it's a bitch. That's what he said. That's all I can tell you. There's no rhyme or reason. He says, I don't understand it myself. You don't know, some great records go and they should have been mega hits, and they don't get behind them. He says there's a lot of politics. It's crazy. So, but he goes, I still love it, and I'm still doing it, and I'm going to do it till my last breath. And he did.
Exactly. And did you ever see him frown? I've never seen anything but a big smile.
I never saw that man, no matter, even when he had problems, never. There was such a cool thing about it. He was just a cool, and didn't he become a doctor? Didn't he study later on in life to become a doctor of music or something?
He had a bachelor's, master's, and PhD in music. One in trumpet, one in composition when he was with Leonard Bernstein, and I forgot what the other was. But here's the other thing. I don't know if you knew about this or not, and you've seen him do this. He could work with, the first violinist from the New York Philharmonic Orchestra and speak their language, and then all the way down to a person that has natural talent, can't read a stitch of music, but would know how to talk to them to make them feel so comfortable. and get the most amount of talent out of them.
And that's what he did with me. I got to tell you the truth.
Well,
You know,
I asked him, I said, my God, I've seen you talk to many different types of people with various types of talents. I said, how do you communicate? Because I've worked with producers that would say, okay, you read music, right? And I've heard some people say, no, well, I can't use you. Go learn and then come back.
Yeah.
He wasn't that way. He told me that he went back and got his degree in psychology because he learned the art of how to talk to people and how to talk their talk and get into their head and their soul and get the best out of them. And man,
wow, I didn't know that part.
Oh
of it.
yeah, I was always fascinated by that. Incredible.
Wow.
Well, you and I have a similar story, the connection with Janice Wojcik, who then later became Janice Coons, a great vocalist. Yeah. She was Tony's backup and lead female vocalist for many years. I was like all of us, you, myself, and Janice, at one time years ago, if you were working on the lounge circuit in the tri-state area, you were working like 6, sometimes 7 nights a week, playing top 40 for like 4 or 5 hours. And I was in one band, and I think she was done with her band. They came to see my band, the band that I was in, and she came up to me and says, "Oh, give me your card. I love the way you play, blah, blah, blah." And there happened to be an opening with her group. So I forgot the name of her group that she was.
Was what Straight Ahead?
Man, I couldn't tell you. I remember I could see her on stage with some of the guys, but I can't remember the name.
Was that the one that had the Al on bass? He actually went up. He went back to he with a Philharmonic Orchestra somewhere. That guy was incredible.
You might be right, but I did a gig with her, and at the end of the gig, or on one of the breaks, she says, "Man, I really love the way you play. I'm going to tell this producer that I'm working with about you. Maybe you heard of him, just like you, Tony Camillo."
Wow.
And I went,
wasn't she generous? I mean, this woman, because most people would just hoard that, like, just, I'm bringing anybody.
Right. So I was like, humana. I said, what? I said, Tony Camillo, Midnight Train to Georgia, a Bazooka. Yeah. I says, oh God. Oh, well.
I was the same. I had the same reaction. I almost didn't show up. I'm like, this guy's going to laugh me out of there, like.
Let me tell you this story. Now, I've told it before. I hope I'm not boring you with this. But
no, I love it. No, I love it because these are things I don't know.
This is
you can teach an old dog some new tricks. Come on.
Well, this is a typical Camillo story, but when you don't know him, you're like, what is going on here? So all of a sudden, it was a Sunday. I can remember it distinctly like it was yesterday, and pick up the phone. Hi, is this Scott? Yes. He says, this is Tony Camillo. I almost hung up because I'm going, okay, someone's messing with me, right? I says, Tony Camillo? Yes, it is. Don't hang up. This is the real Tony Camillo. I got your name from Janice. She spoke very highly of you. I would love to hire you to do a recording session. Now my knees are buckling and I'm going, oh my God. Okay, I said, hold on, let me get my book. So I go to get my book. I come back and say, okay, sure. What instrument and when do you need me? He says, I need you now on tenor sax.
Oh, my God.
Now? Yeah, can you come down now?
See, that's what he used to do that to me, too. Like, you go, hey, I got to think, when, Tony, when? Can you be here in an hour? I'm like, what?
So I'm like nervous as heck. I'm a young guy. I think I was like 25 or so. And I'm like, oh my. Wow. But it's like opportunity only knocks once. I just got to go. So I'm driving there and I pull into this neighborhood. I'm going, I got to be lost. There's just houses here. So I pull up.
I know when you pull into, what is it? Meadowbrook Lane.
Right. Yeah. So I pull up to the house. I see this short guy. He's shorter than me. That made me feel okay. Yeah. So I get out. He goes, Scott. I says, Tony. I don't know him. He comes up to me. He gives me a big hug and a kiss.
Oh,
man. He says, oh, man, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate this. Oh, Okay.
Describe. That's him.
Yeah.
First time, man.
Yes.
It's a love fest with him.
So he says, okay, let's go to the studio. But then he says, stop. Okay, listen, one thing. Just play along with whatever I'm going to do down there.
Oh, no.
I'm going to tell these guys, you're my guy. And just play along with it, okay? Okay. I go down there, and it's a vocal group, and all these guys, they're like 6 foot whatever, and they're looking at me like, what's this guy doing here? And Tony's going, hey guys, this is my man Scott, as I told you about. He's the one that's going to lay down the track and improvise. Didn't tell me who they were. You know the way it was. He never said who anyone was.
Yeah, right. And then you would find out, oh, you just sang, with the OJ.
Right. That's
great.
what it was. So he brings...
And you're not going to get any credit. No.
Sometimes.
No, he was good, big about. Well, that happened. I'm sure you're on records.
Oh yeah.
They forgot Scott Grimaldi played the sax.
Or they put someone else's name there, and the secretary messed up.
Exactly.
So
and that's happened.
I go into the studio. He says, "Okay, here's the music." And as soon as I looked at it, I'm going, "Yeah, I've heard lots of stuff about this guy. This guy has every little note, every little inflection. He knows exactly what he wants." He's okay. So here we go.
So Scott, let me ask you. He wrote the solo out.
No. So he gave me a saxophone part to play on the track.
Oh, I see. Okay.
The rhythm section did it. The vocalist already sang. So I played the part, and the thumbs are going up in the booth. Great. Oh, that's fantastic. Great. Okay, let's overdub it. To fatten it out. Okay, great. So I figured I was done. He's okay. You hear the changes, right? I says, yeah. Okay. I'm going to give you like 8 bars, 16 bars. I forgot how many. He says, okay, improvise. You got the style, right? I'm going, wow. Okay, cool.
Man, that's awesome.
So I said, okay, here it goes. So he said, okay, I'll direct you when to come in. I closed my eyes. I played. And I'm just playing what, I think should be, there. I open my eyes, and they're applauding. And I go, oh, thank God.
Oh, man.
He comes out. He gives me a big hug. He gives me a check. He says, are you free this week? I understand you play all the flutes, clarinets, the saxophones. And
oh, my God. That's unbelievable.
I says, absolutely. He says, I love the way you play. We're going to be working a lot together.
Awesome.
I was so blessed. That was like 30 some odd years or so of that. But I found out, I said, by the way, who was the vocal group? He says, oh, that was the Dramatics. I'm going, oh my God.
Oh, you know what? You want to hear something? I actually sang on that session. He did a bunch. They brought me in for some background vocals with Janice on that too.
And then I noticed that you were with one of the guys that was in the group. Was it LJ Reynolds?
Yes, exactly.
And I did that album also.
Exactly. Yes. That's it. Oh no, it's crazy. Tony would pull you in, and like you said, you could do a session with him. You never knew what it was, and then that's coming out next week. Really? Oh, great. Well, let me know. I want to be able to put that in my resume.
You're widely known as a singer that can impersonate many different well-known vocalists in various genres. When did you realize you had this gift, and could you talk about the various voices that you impersonate, and could you maybe demonstrate just a few now for my listeners? Yeah,
sounds good. Well, honestly, the way I started singing, because I don't really have any vocal training or anything, I have a great ear. That's the one thing that's kind of kept me going, But I always thought, I don't know why, I don't have the answer to this, that you had to sound like the singer when you sang, So I would sit with records, man, back, and when I talk records, I'm talking about 45s, before cassettes and everything. And I would sit there, man, like with my little needle and stuff, the little old turntable, And I said, I got to sound like this guy. So I started to get a knack for it. People would go, man, you sounded just like the record. Man, that song, you sound just like the record. Man, that song, you sound. I said, oh, maybe I should incorporate this into something. And I actually did. I put a show called together, The Show of 1,000 Voices, which is I don't have 1,000, but it's pretty close. 999, you know. So I'm still working on that last one. But I do like I do you know, everything. So I and people are like, when they come to see me, they think it's a recording. It's ridiculous. People come up, they pull the mic from my hand. You're not singing. You're not singing. You know. I say, yes, I am singing. Like I do a song by Nat King Cole, Natalie Cole, Unforgettable, and it's on my album. I have 3 albums that I put out uh, on my little label, GrooveScape Records, and one is called Voices from My Heart, which has all like different things, stylistic style that I sing in, stylistics. I do Frank Sinatra, uh, also Lou Rawls. The other one is called Voices of Rhythm and Love. That's kind of more R&B, Barry White. Yeah, baby. You know, like, and then we have my Songs of Christmas, which is another one that sells every year, which is really great. But yeah, so I started to get into that. And then the more I got into it, the more I loved doing it. So let's say I do like a Louis Armstrong, you know, and there's a little doll around the world that has my voice in that, by the way. That I used to work for Dandy Industries. This guy, Mike Lobel, had these little dolls. That's another story. But so they got this doll. We want to do that Louis Armstrong. They said, you're the guy. I said, I'll give it a shot. So here it is. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And, you know, and people would go, that wasn't you. Or we do a little Elvis, you know. Wise man say, all their foes rush in. Because I have a knack for it, and I love it, you know.
To the listeners out there, this is the real deal. He's doing this in live time right now. I'm on one of Julian's albums, okay? And it's called Voices from My Heart. That was great fun. And I've been in his wedding band, and I've seen him do it live, and I've seen the reaction from the audience, and they're all floored. So, no, this is what this gentleman does.
Because then people go, what does your real voice sound like? I said, I don't care. Yeah. Do you really care? Listen, how many groups can you go see live that, you know, can do like all your favorite stuff? And you're like, wow, man, that was great. I mean, I've had people like Sinatra, you know, the summer wind came blowing in from across the sea. You know, people, man, you sounded like, and you know, it's honestly, if you put me up against the record, it's not that I sound exactly, but I've learned something about inflections in singers over the years. You do certain inflections, people, wow. You know, like the, you know, like, you know, people have actually asked me to teach them. I said, I can't teach you this. I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, listen, it is a definite gift, and you know.
Oh, no, absolutely. Give it to the man upstairs, man.
You would be a natural comedian. First of all, you're funny as hell.
You know, talking about, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up because I am doing a little more comedy now, you know, because I'm able to, and that's the thing. I don't think when I do these impressions and stuff, I don't come out dressed trying to be the guy. You know what I mean? Like these Elvis guys, no offense to the Elvis guys,
right.
But, you know, they come out, they get the sideburns and the suit with the sprinkles and stuff, you know, the sparkles. I just have fun with it. And, you know, I'll over exaggerate it sometimes, you know, and people just, that's smart. You know, that's what, as performance, what do we want? We want to get them to have a good time, man. That's what I want for my audience, you know. Like if I was sitting out there, I put myself in their seat, you know. If I was out there, what would I like to see? I want to have fun. I'm out here on a Saturday night. Do I want to see a guy there trying to be Elvis or trying to be, you know?
Right, but also because you have a very natural sense of humor, I'm sure with your great ear, you can impersonate, you know, like the president.
Oh, yeah.
Major people in the world, you've got that ear. There was a certain Tony Camillo session that we had. We both got called to do this. Tony says, okay, listen, it's going to be a little weird today. I want you to play incorrectly. I says, what?
I know, he always had something crazy going
right.
on.
So he turns it on, and it was during the Bill Clinton era. And there was something that you'll remember this.
Yes.
Tony said, okay, I'm going to make this into a song. So he hires you
I remember
to
this.
impersonate Bill Clinton.
Oh my
Do you remember that?
God. Oh yes. You just bought it. I had forgotten. You don't have that recording, do you? I'm gonna have to steal some recordings from you, man.
No, I was going to ask you.
You know,
So,
because Tony would do the session. You would never. He'd go, listen, I'm going to give you a cassette tape at the end, and we never got it.
Right.
Never got a cassette tape.
right.
And I would call his engineer. Oh yeah, I'll get to it. We got 20 other projects, blah blah. And I never. So there's a lot of records I never even got it. You know.
So when it came time, I said, well, what do you need from me? He says, well, you know how Clinton plays, right? He's not a master at it, but,
Oh man.
you know, did you see him on Arsenio Hall's show playing that blues thing? I says, you want me to play like that? He says, and
Oh,
he's
my God.
laughing. He's crying, laughing. He says, yeah.
Crazy.
So I
man.
had to do that. And he kept stopping. No, play flatter, play sharp. No, bend the notes. And
Oh my God.
he pulled me in. We were listening, and everyone was dying laughing. And I forgot what it was used for, but it was out there. And I said, please don't tell anybody that it's me. Share with my listeners some of your musical accomplishments. Let me just rattle off some of them that I know of, and if you can comment on them, if that's okay.
Mhm.
So, American Idol, Boomer Superstar Idol.
Okay, that was believe it or not, they got together with ARP and they decided that the boomer era had come into a close, and now the next whatever the next millennials, I don't know, whatever the generation, the next whoever the hell, but so they had this thing. So Dominique, my singing partner, she said, there's a thing going at this. Somebody told me about that we should check out for our duo. It's going to be sponsored by American Idol. I said, oh, man, forget that, man. The Idol at 50, whatever age I was at the time. So long story short, I put in the thing, and it was almost like the last week before you can send in they wanted a 30-second a cappella, you singing, hi, my name is Julian, and going into some song. So she hounded me, come on, do it. Just go down in the studio, do a thing, just send it, and So I did it, uploaded it, man. The next day, I get a thing from the Idol people. They go, okay, we want to. You're in. You're in. You're one of the They had 30 finalists out of 1,800 people across the country, right? So I'm like, I can't believe this.
Wow.
And the song I did was the Levi Stubbs Four Tops, I Believe in Me. And I said, okay, so that's cool. Now there was a voting process for 3 months. So that happened for 3 months. And I told everybody in the world, Facebook, Twitter, and apparently I became top 8.
Wow.
I said, oh man, this is cool, So top 8, they're flying us out to San Diego to battle it out on the stage out there. at an AARP convention, right? So who's there? The judges were Emilio Estefan.
Wow.
Miami Sound Machine. We had also Patty Austin.
Wow.
Quincy Jones. Yeah, and the star of I think he was one of. Let's say he was, not that he might be. He was Taylor Hicks.
Oh, sure. From American
And
Idol.
they were the judges. And then the MC was the one and only dog, Mr. Randy Jackson,
Oh,
man.
wow.
And so I'm on a plane going to, San Diego. I'm like, I'm not pinching myself. This is ridiculous. I get in at the last minute. I get, out of the 8 people that got picked, and then the voting process happened, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. So I get out there, we battle it out, and comes down to 2 people. Now, I did this song, I Believe in Me. That was a song that I had auditioned with. And then they said, if you get to the next level, which is the last 2 left on stage, you pick another song. And I picked the song by Andrea Bocelli, Time to Say Goodbye, which I do pretty good justice to. And it was great. I should send you the show, Scott, because you'll be amazed at the comments. And they were like, Patty Austin was like, wow, everything. Long story short, I win the thing. I get $5,000, and I get to audition for American Idol's their label, which is 19. And so I auditioned. That was part of the deal. And unfortunately, what happened, they loved the stuff. I sent them some of my albums. Here's what I got. And I said, you can make me the mature, you got Michael Bublé. I'll be the Michael Bublé for my age, the boomer Michael Bublé. And they liked the idea. But I'm saying because they ask you questions at the label, like, where do you see yourself in this? If we sign you, where do you see yourself in the rack, wherever, or
Right.
streaming, which there's no rack anymore. It's a stream situation. So I said, well, I see myself as, because the type of voice that I have, I could do almost anything. I said I could see myself doing like kind of what Michael Bublé does, but for like the boomer audience, because he's got a young audience. I mean, he does Sinatra, this and that, but I like what Bublé does and David Foster. They do a couple of originals and they do copy. They do originals and copy. That's what I thought would work for me the best. You know what I mean? Like doing a couple of originals and a couple of copy really heavy copy songs. And they were like, yeah. So then they got back to me about 3 months later and they said, we have bad news here. We're not signing anybody because American Idol's going off the air. So I said, wow. So, and that really happened that year. And then the following year, it came back on with the Lionel Richie. And then I sent them a letter again. I said, because I don't give up that easy. I said, oh man, what do you think? So it's passed because those people are not even working there anymore. You know how it is, the politics. So
Sure.
I said, okay, but with this title, I was able to do and I still currently do a lot of shows. I do a lot of park concerts and stuff, and it's great because I incorporate all of my voices, and my partner's also involved in it. So Dominique Carmen Willette. So I love it. I'm sorry, Dominique Willette Carmen. I did that wrong, but so that was my experience there, man. It was wonderful. It was something that was so unexpected after all the things I've done, and it was great. I also was a New York Idol finalist on WPLJ Scott and Todd Big Show, and that happened years back. And that was another experience. And I got to meet Debbie Gibson, John Bon Jovi, and it was really great. These have been little feathers in my cap, and a lot of people got to hear me, and I got a lot of juice out of that. It's exciting when something like that happens for a singer. You're like, wow,
Well, it's all well deserved. I mean, you definitely got chops. So you do. I mean, that's why I'm talking to you.
Right now, I'm looking for some pork chops, baby. Come on.
That's right.
Can you send me some after the show?
No, you know what? Nice... I'm getting hungry. Let's put a pause on this and let's go get some chops. And then I'll post pictures on Instagram. Yeah, this is what the show is.
Yes. Yeah, this is this is two guys that have chops doing chops. that would work, man. I think you should change your logo to a little pork chop next to the microphone or something,
You and I are going to be at this function down in Atlantic City this June. There is something that I've been in the backup band for a number of years now, that you have received an award and you're nominated, I guess, with Dominique also. It's called the East Coast Music Hall of Fame. Can you tell my listeners about that?
Well, that is it's an amazing organization that was put together. It's dedicated to keeping present and future rock and roll music alive. People that are doing this, and they acknowledge people that are doing live music. And they have a big show. I mean, this year, I think they got like Gloria Gaynor, Neil Sedaka, Tony Orlando, Jane American, Warwick, Manhattan Transfer, like all these great groups. And Dominique and I got nominated in the Best Music Maker female, Best Music Maker male. So we didn't get nominated as a duo, but I hope to maybe someday get that. But we got nominated. We don't even know who nominated, so we thank them, whoever they were. Whether we win or lose, I got to tell you, it's prestigious because a lot of people are really veterans of the business, and I think we all deserve to be nominated. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful acknowledgement, and it's all East Coast from Maine down to Florida, and it's wonderful. It's Tommy Patillo of the Dupree's. He was the president at one point, and it's just I'm loving it. I mean, like I said, having these things come at me now, it's just incredible. And then again, here we circle again. You and I started talking, and I didn't know you were going to be there. Again, here I go again with Scott Grimaldi. Man. Here we are again in the same space and time. It's wonderful.
What day are you going to be there? I think it's a Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah, it's June 6th, which happens to be my birthday,
Oh,
and June 7th. Our awards. I don't know what it's going to be in the morning. The ceremony for that is going to be at I think Harrah's. Yeah, Harrah's, if
right.
I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
And all the guys that got nominated, the ladies that got nominated. It's a great group of people. My God, the people. It's a who's who of all performers that are actually currently doing concerts all over the country and everything. It's wonderful. But I'm looking forward to this show. We're gonna have a good time, baby. I'm gonna listen. I'll call you. Maybe we can hook up for a beverage or something.
That'd be great. Absolutely. Let's do
if
that.
You're not too busy rehearsing and doing the thing because you got all these stars you're going to be behind.
Yeah,
man.
it's going to be like one after the other. I did it this past winter, and it was like one act after another. It's a long couple of days.
They do one song, like one of their hits, and that's it.
Yeah, one or two hits, and it's different every time. So, talk about your other accomplishments. You were part of Celine Dion's Las Vegas show.
That was my partner. My partner, she put Celine Dion was be part of the show. Another thing that happened to her that was amazing, Dominique Carmen, she put her video in, and I actually did the video with my son, and we did it all. We did it really professionally. They wanted people from all over the world, and so she, being Canadian and from the same town as Celine, she actually met Celine many years ago with her mother. She was a sweetheart. She can tell you the stories about that. But we went to Hoboken because I know Hoboken like the back of my hand, and we did with the Hoboken in the background because they wanted whatever city you were singing from. Say you were singing from Paris, they wanted you like to be near the Eiffel Tower, whatever. So we did the video, came out great. Of course, it was one of Celine's songs. It was called "I Drove All Night." Okay, which was also done by the guy who did Roy Orbison. So anyway, she did it. It was great. She looked amazing. The sound was great. It wasn't like we just put a camera in front of her. You know what I mean? We did it like a real video, the way they're done. So her soundtrack, we recorded it, and then we went in with the little boom box the way everybody does. They think that the band is out there, and people are saying, and it came out fabulous. So anyway, we sent it in. We keeping our fingers crossed. Boom, you're in. She had to sign some releases, and she appeared in the video at Celine Dion's show.
Wow.
Nightly, yeah. So that was a beautiful feather in our cap for our duo. And the other thing that Dominique did that was gigantic, she did a doll for Avon, which became the biggest selling doll or toy doll. It was a Halloween doll. It was called Susie the Witch.
Wow.
And it was the thing is like over $40. It's like illuminates, it's got all these lights. And she did the voice. They did this song, Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Ghouls just want to have fun. Ghouls, they want to. It's cute little voice, but it sold like crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was something that it kind of came to her door.
In order to encapsulate who you are, okay, what recordings, videos, or other would you suggest that my audience take a listen to that feature you on vocals and or your productions, including any present-day projects?
Wow, that's they can call up Julian and Dominique on YouTube. That a lot of videos are out there. I also have myself with the American Idol thing, the American Boomer Idol. You can catch Julian Hernandez. You'll see some clips from the show, Randy Jackson and stuff like that. Best place to go is our website because we have our CDs on there. There's sound bites. There's all kinds of interesting stuff, the band videos, and that's www.voice1000.com or juliananddominique.com, or you can find us on Facebook. Facebook, Julian and Dominique. You can find. I mean, we're everywhere, so it's like it's kind of cool. This social media has been amazing. Instagram, you name it, Twitter.
Could you give me two pieces of music that you sang on that I can filter in?
For the mimicking, if you want to do the Nat King Cole, Unforgettable, because I do both parts. Natalie and Nat.
Unforgettable, that's what you are. Unforgettable, though near or far, like a song of love that clings to me. How the thought of you does things to me never before. Has someone been more?
And any original ones that you would like me to play?
Well, original, I have this thing, America. It's which is on. If you catch Tony Garcia and Julian Hernandez on YouTube. There's a song called America. We're in need of love. We wrote that kind of like when all that stuff was going on with the killing of the black folks and stuff, and we were like feeling like, wow, man, we're lacking, man. Look what's going on in this country, and that song came about from that, and we put out a little EP on it.
Another man lies in the street, couldn't breathe. Now he's covered with sheets. Another mother can't feed her child, keep her clean, while the sailors run free. Poorer get poorer, the richer get richer. Hey, by now, you get the picture. America, America, we're in need of love. America, America, can you spare some love? Little bit more love, stop the hate. Little bit more love, never too late. Little bit more love, little bit more love.
And Tony and I have an album coming out in Brazil. He's got like 5 gold records in Brazil. He's very famous in Brazil. But Tony was the guy that gave me my first record, and him and I also had the hit together that we wrote and co-produced for Little Susie, "Take Me in Your Arms." It sold over 600,000 copies. And it's still going strong. The streams, I mean, that song, it's amazing. So, but him and I got into doing COVID. He said, "What are you doing, man?" I said, "No. What are you doing? Why don't we put an album together? Because I got some stuff going on in Brazil. You feel like going to Brazil?" I said, "Go anywhere,
Wow,
Give it
cool.
and that's how that started. So it started with America, We're in Need of Love. And then we did some other things like the First Amendment, Fifth Amendment, these songs, which is pretty cool. I mean, it's all about rights and stuff, like we have rights. And it's done in a kind of pop dance type thing. It's kind of cool. But the new songs are even better. I mean, we have some cool stuff for Brazil, like some Spanish stuff. It's really, really cool.
We talked about humor before. Let's tie this in. Do you have a funny story that you'd share about any of the artists you've worked with?
I don't know if this is funny, but it's kind of like weird though. I'll tell it. This is the one that really comes to mind right away. Okay, so we're doing a wedding, and Julius DeRosa, who did that song, "Hey compadre, da 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 da."
I was his backup woodwind player for a number of years at the PNC Art Center years ago.
Come on, see, this is crazy. This is not. I can't believe it. So he come. So we were the band. Fortune, my band was. We were the band at this wedding, and he was the. They hired him because they wanted him to do his thing. So he comes in with a 3-piece band, keyboard, bass, and drums. So, he was nice. Hi, Mr. Lorelai. Nice to meet you. So he comes in, and it's a wedding. Mind you, it's a wedding, right? So he's doing his thing. People are like, yeah, boy. So he starts that song. Hey, compadre, I just did the body. I don't even know the words, but here's the funny part.
Those are the words.
Those are the words. Come on, it's not the words. So he's doing the thing. This guy gets up. He's in front. He's on the dance floor. Guy gets up, and he put the bandana like a Bruce Springsteen bandana.
Right.
And he's toasted the guy. Did absolutely. So he starts going, and he starts grabbing people or out of the audience, and they do this big, giant, like a tarantella circle or something.
Right.
So, and he's over there, so he friggin' stops the band. This is incredible. That was the funny part. The guys, they're doing circles. They're going through the crowd. They're grabbing people. And they're having a good time. Good old jolly time. And they paid the guy some nice money. This guy got, he got his nice money, He stops the show. And he goes, if you don't sit down, I'm going to walk out of here.
Oh, my God.
So I go like, oh, man. So, man, silence in the room. So, okay. They're standing around. They go, well, what's the problem? He goes, this is a show. I work in Vegas. This is, people don't get up and stuff. So the guy who was toasted, but this is a wedding. What's wrong with you? And that's when I started to crack up. I was like, oh my God, guess what happened? He walked out.
He did.
He took his bag. Come on, guys, we're out of here. So I talked to the agent. I said, did you pay him, man? So he goes, no, he's paid already.
Oh, my God.
And the people were so pissed. So then I picked it up. I said, don't worry, people. You got me. Hey, compadre. Hey, take it body. Piri, piri, So, and that was my Julius DeRosa story, man. This is good therapy. You know what? You should do a therapy show too while you're at it. I feel so good right now. My serotonin level is like so high, man. I feel like, oh my God.
So here's the last question.
Okay.
So, do you have any musical or life philosophies or catchphrases that you live by?
Well, I tell you, one of the things that I saw, and I wrote it down because I have it, and I love this saying. I don't know who wrote it. I don't know if it's anonymous. Music washes away from the soul the dust of everyday life. And I saw that, and I said, I like that. Because it really, music, and I still also do some shows at assisted living places, and some people that are like, have memory loss and stuff like that. What the music does, it's an incredible, and I think it does something for all of us. We're musicians, we know what it is for us, but people that are non-musicians, to me, it's like when I do these shows at these places, and I like to do this, I like to give back, but I see these people that, oh man, they haven't, they've been staring into space, and they start singing. They remember the songs.
That's right.
The songs are still there, man. Oh yes, and then they'll go back into their, and that phrase for me, music washes away from the soul the dust of everyday life. I think it really catches. I love it. I think to me, every day is music in my life, and if I'm feeling bummed or something, I put some music on, not necessarily mine, but I'll usually put on Julius de Rosa, and that washes everything away from my soul. And just we'll end it there. Anyway,
so let me just remind people, Julian is a phenomenal musician, vocalist. I mean, he can impersonate. How many voices would you say you can impersonate?
Well, I'd say I definitely can do. I should count them, but I don't know. Probably over 100 I could do. I mean, like Johnny Mathis. I do a lot. It just goes on. I do because I've been singing forever. Thank God. Thank you, Lord. I think thank the Creator for my career. He's my manager, by the way. So.
Oh, that's great.
But if anybody wants to come catch us, man, we'd love to come and say hello to us. Like I said, voice1000.com or juliananddominique.com. Facebook, Julian on Facebook, and also juliandominique.com. And then my little label, it's GrooveScape, so that's on Facebook as well. It's out there. We're easy to catch, so we'd love to have you come join us at one of our shows. We have a Mother's Day show coming up down in Lakewood Country Club. We have a lot of stuff coming up. We also work at a place called Mosaico, Italian restaurant, which is a beautiful place, food, amazing service, and we do shows there all the time. We love the guy. His name is Rudy, a wonderful dude. Like one of the gems of the club business. I got to tell you, he treats the musicians like he treats his family.
Well, it's always been a pleasure playing with you, whether it be your wedding band or the recording sessions you would hire me on. Or with you and Dominique. I hope I get a chance, to play with you in the near future. Or
absolutely, man. Let's make something happen. Yeah, maybe drop you in one of our shows and bring you up as a soloist, man. That'd be cool.
Oh well, thank you. That's really nice of you.
And then definitely, let's on a personal note, let's get together this summer down by the water there. Be awesome in Monmouth Beach. We're close, so
absolutely. Then I'll see you at Harrah's in June.
Oh yeah. I'll make sure I look you up, man, when I'm down there.
Cool.
For sure. Talk to you soon, man. Thank you so much, bud.
Thank you. My pleasure. Take care now.
All right. God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks so much for joining me on today's show. I hope you enjoyed the conversation and could hear why my guest got chops. You can follow my podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or Anchor.fm, and stay connected between episodes on Instagram at Got Chops Podcast. Join me on the next episode when we discover why my next guest got chops.